Hello, Dr. Giuseppe Paladini here, and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Stepping Bricks. Now today we're going to answer one question, which is, can I get a buy-to-let mortgage if I don't own any other properties, any other residential properties? Now the short answer is yes, you can, but it's a bit challenging. I'll explain why. In the past, basically, people were trying to get a buy-to-let mortgage without getting their own residential first. Now, why they were doing that? First of all, because buy-to-let mortgage are supposed to be self-funding. So the criteria for the lenders to give you a buy-to-let mortgage are mainly based on rental income rather than your personal income. So for some people, didn't have a huge salary, so they couldn't get a residential mortgage, so they decided to go through the backdoor residential. This is a technical term that was considered as a mortgage fraud, and some people were trying to apply for a buy-to-let mortgage because it was easier to get than a residential mortgage, because again, the residential mortgage was based on their own income, while the buy-to-let mortgage is based on the rental income. And as long as you have at least 125% of the mortgage payments, then you should be fine to pass, the buy-to-let criteria. We had experience as well with some of our students in the Stepping Bricks Academy. They didn't have their own residential property, and when they applied for the first buy-to-let, then the lender decided not to give the buy-to-let mortgage because they were afraid that the landlord were going to move in the buy-to-let property rather than letting it out. Now, it's still possible to get a buy-to-let mortgage even if you don't have a residential property. People that are UK citizens but they live abroad, for example, they can live here in the Canary Islands, for example, they can own a property in the UK. So some specialist lenders can then lend a buy-to-let mortgage to these people that are expat. Another exception is, if, for example, if you buy a property into the limited company. Of course, again, there are specialist lenders that can lend according to these criteria. My advice is always find a good mortgage broker that can see different options for you without you trying to apply for every single bank. The reason for that is because if you apply for every single bank and every time you get rejected, there is a footprint on your credit file. So if a lot of times you're trying to apply for a loan and you don't get it, then the next lender will see that you're desperate to get a loan. They don't know why, and they start to reject straight away your application even before considering any reasons. There are lenders that they lend if you are in the UK, if you, let's say, don't have a limited company, if you don't have your own residential property, as long as you provide all the documentations they are asking for. Sometimes they even ask you to sign a document stating that you know the consequences of committing mortgage fraud, and you are taking the responsibility, and that you're promising in documents that you're going to use it as a buy-to-let. Sometimes lenders will ask you as well for a tenancy agreement in place to prove actually that you're using that property as a buy-to-let rather than your own residential property. Also, the lenders will ask you, where are you living? So, for example, if you're living with your parents or if you're living abroad, then you need to prove your residential status, so they know you're not going to move into the buy-to-let property. As I said before, there are so many other options. Don't get despaired if you can get the mortgage in the first instance. Consult with your broker. If your broker is not helpful, change broker, okay? You don't have to stick to one person, and then you can hopefully find the right mortgage product for your circumstances and to get you started into the buy-to-let mortgage without owning your residential property. Of course, remember that if you own the residential properties before applying for a buy-to-let mortgage, then it's much easier to get a buy-to-let mortgage. Another thing you need to remember is the residential mortgages are generally required for you to put down 5-10% deposits, while buy-to-let mortgages are a lot more expensive and requires you to put down at least 20%, most likely 25%, sometimes even 30%, depend on the circumstances, on the age, on your income, etc. Again, the broker can help you to understand your situation and find the right product for you. So I hope it's been useful again. If you like, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll share more content for you next time. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye for now.